And let's see if Facebook is doing what it needs to do.
Okay, you are live on YouTube.
Okay. On YouTube. Very good. Okay, so now I am on Facebook and looking for, where's live? Shouldn't it show up on my Facebook feed?
It should. I'm looking here too.
There's live. Okay. Now, okay. Oh.
Why Facebook? I thought you.
Hang on, Nancy. Actually, that's not live for me. That's. Oh, where'd it go? It was live. Do I need to? It already populates Restream, right? I don't have to have Restream opened. Probably not. Okay. Well, let's see what happens here. Now live on your channel. There we go. Okay.
You're live on YouTube, but I don't see it on Facebook yet. I'm going to keep looking.
Okay, so let's just check it out here. I'm going to show you my real face here. Would my face show up if I went like... no, it doesn't do anything. So... Now on my screen, my iPad and my desktop, it doesn't show anything live on that. I do see my chairs and me waving to me 3 seconds later or so. Shared realms. Now, how do we check it to go to Facebook, though?
Riko, you want to come out here?
Hmm.
We have a whole 8 minutes, you know.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
doing the
check on eCam and see if there's a setting there to go to Facebook.
Okay, let's see. Where would I see that without disengaging?
There's a settings wheel near the finish button.
A wheel. Oh, that one. No?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not
There you
logged
go.
in.
Oh, not logged in. Huh?
So, whoa, what do I gotta do with that one? Log in using web browser. Okay, it says it's on.
All right, I'll go check now.
And also, there's the Robert the Individual YouTube. Should I click that one too? Probably.
I don't think that it'll allow you to do that because of the limit for 2 accounts.
Oh. Although, would it be better to have it on my personal one? Then no. Well, I don't know. The Robert Individual has lots of viewers. Lots of... Oh, that's YouTube. Never mind. Okay, so now that that's going on, let's check to see.
It doesn't look like it's on Facebook yet.
It doesn't.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Let's
the old
just
one.
do a little check there. There's a little
That's the
window
old one.
there. Looks like on Restream, my face is showing up and it's live.
No, that's not mine. I don't want that
Okay,
one.
so here I am, Robert Kikuchi and Goku of Eth-Noh-Tec, kinetic storytelling.
Okay, so why? Okay, so, okay, not on Facebook yet. Let me see. What do we do now? Facebook. No. Edit. Now, for what's on your mind, maybe I have to go to... Facebook page?
It's not on Facebook at all. I think that Restream's not doing its job correctly.
Well, so it was on YouTube earlier. Let me refresh things.
Whatever you do, don't click finish, because if you do, you'll lose
shut
the
it
link
off.
that everybody has
Yeah,
on Facebook
will not
or on
get near
YouTube.
that one. Okay, where is Facebook? Okay, let me go to Facebook on the laptop and see if anything shows up there. Okay, well, there's the old one. Why did it not populate that? Is there a Facebook studio?
No, there's not, but there should be. Maybe we can look at the settings again in Restream.
In Restream, okay.
We have just about 3 more minutes.
Okay, here is, this is YouTube. So I need to go to Restream. Where is Restream? Restream. Okay, log in. I hope it remembers me because okay, now here we are, Restream. Should I check with the start with the studio or scheduled events?
Let's see if the destinations are working there. Is there a way to do that? Edit destinations. See what's up with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it says Facebook is live. It says Starting with Eth-Noh-Tec is live.
Let me check Facebook again. Hold on. Maybe being logged out kind of messed things up a bit.
Well, we dare not touch that one. Anything else, so. Not yet, we're getting close.
Break a leg.
I could put on our pre.
You know what I could do? I could link to our YouTube on Facebook, so it will be a separate link, but at least they'll have access to it. Should I do that?
Whatever, yeah, just whatever it is.
Okay,
and if we can't get Facebook, don't worry about it. At least we have
Yeah,
YouTube.
we don't have to have that.
Okay, I'm going to close it there.
But it automatically records, right?
Right. Yes.
Correct. This is all recording. So maybe we should do the
prelude.
The little video. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm muting.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Stop the screen. And let's go to the priest link thing.
Thanks for logging on to Storytelling with Eth-Noh-Tec. We'll be streaming soon, so hang in there. We'll be with you shortly. This upcoming stream is free, and we welcome any donations you'd like to contribute to Eth-Noh-Tec, a nonprofit arts organization. For your support helps us reach tens of thousands of families across the country and beyond, both on the stage and online streaming. While you're waiting for the stream to start, enjoy seeing the many faces and places of Eth-Noh-Tec and the communities we serve. Your good word helps us reach more people with storytelling that touches hearts and opens minds. We'll be with you shortly. Join Eth-Noh-Tec in staying safe, sanitize, and put your mask to the task. Pass along this message and pass along this link. Please subscribe to Eth-Noh-Tec's YouTube channel, Storytelling with Eth-Noh-Tec. We'll be streaming very soon.
All right, here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome to Storytelling with Eth-Noh-Tec. And we are so excited today to be doing what we're going to do, brand new. But first, I'm Nancy Wong and
I'm Robert Kikuchi Ngoho.
of Eth-Noh-Tec, and our special star guest,
Riko Takata.
So we have never done this before, but I am so excited about it. We're going to be comparing Riko's process and elements of composition with how we also process what we create as stories, but visually as stories, and the elements that we use compositionally.
Riko's been a visual artist for decades and decades.
She's made her whole life living as an artist, which
And-
is pretty good.
And when we discovered her theatrical talent, we thought, wow, visual art, creativity.
And often people think we're sisters. So it's a perfect fit. So so Riko is an amazing artist. She's also great, as you will see later, because we're going to do a performance for you. But she's a generous person. She is so talented. So the first thing I'd like to do is ask Riko, first of all, how she chooses her subjects. What's the process? And once she has chosen it, what then is the next part of the process?
Well, I think every piece of art starts with this genuine feeling that you want to make a masterpiece. And, that's a tall order. But I look at many, many, many things, trees, landscapes, and once something catches your eye, it's a matter of choosing the subject and then actually sitting down and committing to it and deciding. First of all, I like what my friend Steve said, which is to decide what is the most important thing that you want to convey and communicate in this piece of artwork, and to work everything else around it.
So once you've chosen, what is next? How do you start the process? What happens next?
Well, for the pieces that I'm going to be showing you, which is part of my pastel series, it's a matter of getting all of your kit bag together, which I suppose in your thing would be a little bit
Our
different.
bodies.
Yeah. Or your research and writing the script. But for me, it is having everything in my kit bag so that I could sit down and draw for a couple of hours with everything that I need, my brushes, my my eraser, my just everything that I
All
need.
your tools.
Yes.
So you look at what you decided to paint, and you decided what you want to say about that painting, what you want to focus on, and then you start. And then how does that feel? Do you like it right away?
Usually you like it right away, and then it goes south and you think it's horrible, and then you keep working on it and it starts to look better and better and better, and then and the more you add to it, and I think a lot of our creative processes are that you start going this way and you go, oh no, I think I want to go a little bit more this way, oh no, maybe a little more red, maybe and as you adjust and move through the piece, it goes through different stages, and some of the stages are happy and some of the stages are difficult, and just a matter of getting over and sticking with it. But even then, there's no guarantee that the end product is going to be something you love. But for me, every single piece is a thing to celebrate.
Great, great. Robert, do you want to talk about our process? How do we choose? How do we
Sure.
choose our stories?
Well, normally, well, let me I'm doing a little technical thing. You could start with that question
so
right
Robert is actually the researcher. So he doesn't read any other books except folk tales and mythology and stuff like that. So he will read a bunch of stories from different countries in Asia, and when he finds the one that speaks to him, he chooses it, he shows it to me, and if I also like it, then we begin to write. And we write and we write and we write and we go back and forth. Say if I start the script, then Robert will look at it next and he'll adjust it. And then he sends it back to me. And then I'll further adjust it. And I send it back to him. And it goes back and forth until we know this is the one we want. And again, the choice is usually something that speaks to us. It maybe has a value or a message in it that's important to us, something that we want to focus on, that we think is important to have our world outside of us hear and listen to and think about. And then the next thing we do once we memorize, which is the worst part, we go on the stage, and by then, of course, we've seen some of the stuff because we've gone back and forth so many times that we begin to choreograph it. And it changes, right? It's like when you add this and add that. We add, we subtract, we completely flip something, and you just, and I'm sure any of the storytellers out there, they do the same thing, or any theater piece, any writer, you really go through it over and over, and things definitely change. Actually, the material becomes more intimate for you, and then you find different things in it that you hadn't seen before, and so that becomes the process of continuing.
I'm going back a little bit about how to choose stories. Of course, being a guy, I like action films. So when I look at a folktale or a myth, I look at it as a movie in my head and see where there's action points or where there's focal points. Almost like maybe like working on film, I see certain parts of the story that have energy and visual energy or visual dynamics in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, and that's how we begin. Now, once we choreograph, for me, every moment on stage has to be a visual picture that is pleasing or exciting or whatever. So I know that my compositional elements are very much based on the visual art compositional elements. So let's start with some of Riko's beautiful paintings. And we're going to, she's going to tell you, things like where she wants the eyes on her painting to travel. What lines is she using? Etc. Anyhow, let's start.
Okay,
let's pick one of her.
Let's go to Riko Takata.
She does many kinds, so this is just her pastels.
Okay, it's going to take a little moment to load up, and here we go. Let's get a better picture of that.
Okay, so this is a barn at night, and what I see the brown fields, what I've decided to say about it, it's almost like steps, diagonal lines that lead you up to the drama of the barn, and then the glow around the barn kind of keeps the energy within a certain sphere, and then the drama of the light on in the barn, that's the storytelling part, where you think who's in the barn that late at night and what's happening there. So, and then even the tree, the lines of the tree are kind of swirling around with the clouds to kind of bring you back into the middle of the drama, which is the barn.
Yes.
So we know that diagonal lines also they infer action. So we go to your painting and we see the diagonal lines, and they're leading somewhere all the time. And just the perspective, and that's the other thing we use, perspective, front and back of the stage. So here we are, that beautiful glow behind the how did you decide to do that?
I don't know. Some things are kind of just instinctual, I guess.
Wait,
I
pause a minute.
probably
We're having a technical difficulty.
You
Although
can't
folks
move-
out there,
you can't move it
we're
to the
seeing
next
this
shot.
beautiful picture of a barn,
They don't
but it's
see
not
it?
talking to the cloud there. So, well, this is
Oh dear.
a visual disaster. How else can we do this here?
Well, why aren't you supposed to see? We're still on the screen. Maybe you need to not have it. You need to replace us. You have
I'd like to do
share.
that.
You have to share the.
So they
Yeah.
can't see the barn.
They can't see
Yeah.
anything but us talking, and
And
we
they-
want to be seen. We want them to focus.
Yeah, and this is not Nancy. That's Riko, and this is Nancy. But the names are switched around, and I can't erase them. So once again, it's the Eth-Noh-Tec of Eth-Noh-Tec.
Ah. So, what can you do?
It worked before.
Let me see if
Okay,
you know. I
let's
forgot to
just see.
also introduce Brittany, who is one of our managing directors, because we need two of them. But she's helping to manage this, and I'm going to see if she has any ideas how to make it work.
Right, so we'll fiddle around here.
Oh, this is horrible. So
Yeah.
how do we show this gorgeous, gorgeous pastel painting?
I don't know. Did you have any pictures? in
No,
your...
but really, how is it that
It
you
was
didn't
working
share it?
30 minutes ago, and then something broke.
No.
That's right, the Eth-Noh-Tec of Eth-Noh-Tec. Okay, we have a backup
I'm
plan.
so sorry, this keeps happening.
Well, we did it. We did 3 test runs as well.
Well, look on the screen and see if there's something that you need to
Okay.
click.
In the meantime, we have a backup plan, and that includes real live art. Surprise, surprise! Real life art. Okay, let's make sure though. We're try. You want me to do what? Turn off Zoom? Okay, maybe I'll do that too. Okay. Okay. Well, it didn't change anything that way. But before we show any pictures, we better turn off that green screen or people are going to go crazy. There we go. Turn off. Okay. No, there's no green.
So the picture is horizontal. So I'm describing it as if you're blind.
Well, they can't see it, right?
No,
Not yet.
No, but I'm gonna, because he's working on
What do you
it,
have
right?
there?
Are you not working
Show me
on
something.
showing it?
I am. But before you do, do a little test here. Okay, so what we have to do though is make sure we turn off green, because otherwise they'll see everything is green. Will be ugly. Let's see.
So I was going to describe the picture that they're not seeing, that we already talked about, so they can get it. About a little more than half of the photo of the pastel is the brown, the ground that's slowly moving as if it's moving back towards the barn. At the top of the brown, the barn takes up the rest, almost the rest of the page, except for the blue, which is the same color as the barn. It's a beautiful, bright, what kind of blue would you call that? Cerulean? No. Royal blue, but lighter than royal blue and shades of royal blue that swirls around it. And on one side, there's a tree, a very bare tree. So it doesn't take the focus, but it gives you perspective as how big the barn is.
Okay, let's try. Okay, hold up that picture again, or this one, because
this is completely different.
it is complete. But oh, you see, it's doing
Why
this.
is it that
You see, it's showing green, even though the green is.
Oh, because there's not, because it's.
Oh, there we go. Take it back. Okay, that's true color.
But you can
As
barely
true as
see
it
it.
can
It's
be.
kind of
Yeah, it's
faded
very
out.
strange.
Okay. On the other hand, let's turn it down some lighting here, so it's a little bit better. Okay.
Yeah, it's not even that green. It's a bluish gray. I'm so sorry. This was going to be so exciting.
It still is. It's still exciting for them because they're going, wow. low tech. Okay, here we go.
Eth-Noh-Tec.
And you have to take it back farther so that they can see that. Oh, so why is that doing that? We see it in true color, and there's no green there, but why is that happening?
Can you see that?
Yeah, I think they can see it. Anyway, I don't know what I was gonna say about this, but you know, I kind of draw the eye in. Those triangles face up. This is an old picture of a sugar mill that has since been closed. At the time, it was creating this wonderful steam, and I kind of made the steam work for me to envelop some of the feeling of the old industrial site.
But one of the things you can see is the disposition of the buildings, so that they're not all 1, 2, 3 in a row, but you get maybe 2 smaller ones to the side and 1 big one, so that there is a contrast. Which always, as performers, we try to create contrast.
Okay. One of the screens shows true green. The other one is throwing off that picture. Let's see what happens there. Oh, no. Well, it's pretty.
So again,
around.
you can see the movement in it. Now the actual colors are not what you see.
Right. However, let's just say we've got psychedelics, and that we all have enjoyed mushrooms once in a while, and we're just use your mushroom mind and see that this is
But
enhanced.
you know, we're not even going to address colors this because we're really looking at shapes. So the shapes are the diagonals, the verticals. Tell us about how you create movement.
Well, I think it's obvious that it's just a plain old house. I have obviously edited out certain details because I just wanted to talk about the solidity of the house, what a house, I don't know. And then all of this atmosphere going on around the house is more somewhat of a storytelling element of what a mysterious question, what is going on in the house? And so I've created my own sense of light and action with my own ephemeral drawings.
So obviously the horizontal line is very stable, but the vertical lines are stable. But the that swishing and the way it's this diagonal and that diagonal. And then there's stairs. I don't know if you saw the stairs, but that's definitely very stable. So, should we show one more and then we can move on to to doing the movement?
This one's a really dramatic piece. This one as well. I was talking about what a house, not a real picture of a house, but my distillation of my vision of what this house felt like or whatever. And I think it has a certain storytelling quality of what's happening in the house or, you know, whatever. Yeah.
So now this one you put the house in the center. Tell us why you did that, because other times you put it somewhere else.
I don't know. I tend to actually put things in the center a lot. It's just something I do, and then I work energy around it. So, and I don't know why I do that either. It's really kind of something that you're not supposed to do, is something right in the center.
But it's a contrast again. So what I see is stability and then not stability, movement, action. And contrast is very important for us too when we create our pieces. In terms of like slow and fast, low and high. Tell us more.
This is just a series of barns that I did. And the barn was in shadow. So, you know, it's one big dark shape in the front. And I kind of broke it up with this little light shape here which is like a little flame and encompassing again the spiritual energy around the house.
Great, great. So as we can see that it's not you know her drawings are not realities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're stylized, and Robert and I do the same thing in terms of when we create gesture and movement, and it's not reality either. It's metaphor, it's gesture that's stylized. So much is the same, and so I think. Does anyone have any questions for Riko? Put it in the chat.
I'll be paying attention to those.
Because
Put in there.
what we want to do next is show you a piece that we've been rehearsing. We'll perform this Saturday, and show you if you can see the same kind of elements in her drawings as on stage. So that's how they really are very similar processes. Okay, so now she's going to put away her things. And are there questions? No?
Make up a question. What is that? She's working with...
she's putting things away
Yeah.
so that we can have the stage.
Did we talk about what medium she's using? Are you using pastels?
These are
Okay.
pastels, but she uses paint. She uses sculpture. She does sculpture as well. She prints.
Yeah, as an artist, I think it's possible to continually change your medium and to find excitement and interest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why sometimes we do folktales, sometimes mythology, sometimes personal stories, sometimes stories that are just funny and don't have any redeeming value.
Yeah.
And so, all
And
right.
as you can see too, that as an artist, those of you who do visual art or even poetry or film, that the subjects call to you. Sometimes you can't, if you plan to do something like a certain subject of your film or your art or your poem, sometimes it feels a little forced. So sometimes just sitting quiet and letting those inner muses come to you. Certainly with our stories, when we're looking for stories, again, we're looking at countless folktales and myths to see if something is drawn out or excites us, or if we find something relevant to the modern world, or something relevant to what's going on social or culturally or politically in our world. With Riko, I imagine sitting in a quiet place, having a beautiful scenery, just using your eyes and letting it to soak in. Your eye will find where it needs to draw out the creation.
And I think without putting in the time, there is no reward. And I think if you put in, one artist said that Wayne Thiebaud, he said if you did 10 or 12 pieces, one piece would thrill you. And it is absolutely true. I think that, not every piece is good. And if you put in the time and the effort and the homework, you end up with some really, really good pieces that you're happy with.
There's a question if you're using oil pastels or soft pastels.
I've used both, but the ones that you've seen today were soft pastels, dry pastels.
And back on that subject of the creative process, and sometimes we'll have a script that has like 20 versions of it. And maybe in the first 5, we're satisfied, we feel great, we've performed it, it sits in the folder for another year or 2, we revisit it, and somehow something doesn't feel right with it. Maybe we've changed, or our perception of how the story needs to move at a different pace. So we'll rework a story sometimes 30 times and find all these different variations of them.
So let's show them a story. And let's, do you want to put the green screen back on?
I will do some fiddle faddle. And
we'll position ourselves on the stage.
Okay.
Okay.
Just so you know,
Switch the camera.
That's what our green screen looks like. When we use green screen, sometimes we could put ice cream behind us if we want to, but that's not so tasty. So let's have some color. Okay. So this story we'll perform first. We'll talk about the content of it.
Well, no. What we're going to do is just show them, and they will compare. they should know all the elements about the, the action and the stable and the 2-to-1 and contrast and high-low perspective, all that stuff, and see if you can see it in this piece.
And how we use our bodies to direct your focus to where we're trying to tell our story and show our funny monkey.
Yes.
Perfectly.
So I'm always aware of where do I want the audience to focus. So be aware of that too. Okay. And so
This folk tale is called Monkey Wind.
whoosh.
Once upon a time, in the land of Agamaniog, sometimes known as the land of sweet coconuts, and later on known as the Philippines, noong unang panahon.
Once upon a time, in the land of sweet coconuts,
A land of 7,000 islands, coastal fishing villages, and tall, tall jungle trees.
ooh, look over there. A very clever creature chattering away.
Aha! It was Monkey. He was the smartest and brightest of all the creatures. Or so he thought.
Well, he could outwit the jaws of crocodile.
And he could slip past the slithering cunning of Sly Snake.
Shh. While even he at times could wrangle the wrath of human as he pilfered the farmer's mango tree and raided the fisherman's basket.
Ooh, masarap.
One day, Monkey, feeling full of himself, scampered up a tall coconut tree and looked up at the powerful sun in the sky.
Yo, son, your record-breaking temperatures don't scare me. I can always stay chill in the cool, cool street.
Now he looked down at the raging river.
And you raging river, your floodwaters don't fool me. Even with rising sea levels, I can climb the tallest tree.
Then suddenly, a light wind ruffled his monkey's fur.
And you, four winds, I can handle you all. Try to knock me from my tree, try to make me fall.
And so the four winds did swirl down, meeting Monkey's challenge with
The deal is on.
Whoosh!
Down from the mountains came a mighty blowing force.
You puny little creature, meet my blast from the north.
But Monkey gripped the tree and held on very strong.
Go ahead, North Wind, bring it on.
Roar! The north wind unleashed its mighty wrath, flattening the rice fields and houses in its path.
North Wind raged, then roared, then suddenly quelled, pausing to count all the houses he filled. But to his surprise and much to his dismay, in one lone standing tree clung Monkey, chattering away.
Oh, North Wind, are you done? Is that all you can do? Well, I'm still here. More powerful than you.
North Wind gulped away in a huff. Whoosh!
Suddenly, there was a hiss.
Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it's just you. Twisted twin sisters, windy east and west.
We'll show you, bragging monkey, whose power is the best.
We bring typhoons!
Yeah, typhoons!
Mighty twins are we. We'll blow that monkey smile of yours.
Right out of your tree.
Oh,
Right out of your dream.
well, look at me. My grip is strong. Go ahead, east and west wind, bring it on.
We will bring it on.
And
on.
and
Is that it? Is that all you can do? I'm still here, more powerful than you too.
Oh, the defeated Windy sisters parted west and east. They puffed away, in shame to say the least.
I'm more powerful than all the winds.
Oh no.
Oh, it's just you, South Wind.
Suddenly, the monkey's fur felt a warm southern breeze.
It's just a south wind.
Before you open that big monkey mouth, I have something for you. My breeze from the south.
A breeze? Is that the strongest you can be? A breeze for nudging mangoes as they ripen from the trees. Go ahead, South Wind. Is that all you can do? We'll all be still here. Hey, more power than you.
And so the south wind did begin to blow.
Ooh. Ah.
But south wind did not howl nor roar.
Ooh.
Ah. Nor did it push the waves so they crashed upon the shore. Unlike east and west wind and the gale from the north, the gentle south wind rocked the tree back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, South Wind, is that the strongest you can do? Go on, give up. You've lost. I'm more powerful than you.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. South wind blew, as it's always blown, soft, gentle, a power all its own.
Ooh.
Ah.
Ooh. Ah.
South Wind, is that all you can do? Ooh, oh, I'm still here. Oh, excuse me. More powerful than you.
Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah.
Suddenly, that monkey's grip that once held tight,
Ooh.
first his left arm dropped, then his right.
Ah.
His knees unclenched, a tail unwound, and then
He plummeted to the ground.
down came the monkey,
Falling pride hurt.
with his tail between his legs.
Even before he hit that dirt.
And just even though, as monkey scampered out of sight,
South wind kept on blowing with drowsy delight. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah.
for you see, not all power is muscle or might.
Sometimes a great power is
Soft, gentle,
and
and
I know. Very, very light.
ooh.
Ow.
ah. Okay. So, I hope what you saw. I wish we could hear your voices. But if you want to put in the chat what you saw in terms of compositional elements.
Okay. Okay, let
So-
me adjust.
We go back to here.
Yes.
So compositional elements. What did you see? What did you see that was similar to her visual compositions? Is anyone putting anything in?
Thank you. Let's see what we have here. Of course, there's observations. Oh, wow, beautiful. Thank you, Robin Beatty. Thank you. All right, we'll take a pause here. Things that you observed. Shape, color, composition, tension, complementary.
And maybe it was pretty obvious, so you don't have to put it in.
Diagonals.
Diagonal lines,
Diagonal
2 to 1, contrast high, low, going soft and slow, versus the north wind is puncture and
Unleash mighty
wrath.
wrath.
And
Of
then
course,
the
when we-
Twisted Sisters are
yes.
kind of like this, so it's a little more swingy.
Of course, when we add dramatic elements too, or musical elements too, those also play in the fact. So, rhythm, the loudness, the soft and loud, all of those things.
All the contrast, slow, fast, loud, soft, up, down,
Hmm.
2, 1.
Barbara writes, yeah, different lines, fast, hard, slow, soft. Thank you, Barbara.
Yeah. So, if we can move on, let's move on, because the next thing is what do we do in terms of content? So, I'm going to ask Riko, again, when she chooses whatever you choose to paint, do you have often something you want to say? That it's not just a pretty picture or an interesting picture, that if there's something you want to say.
Of course. I wish I had brought one of my Trump platters because I have
Paper
pictures
dolls.
of Trump with different silly hats on, and I thought that was just a funny, sweet way of showing Trump in all of his honorial glory, and for me, it was a tremendous relief to deal with the whole Trump thing with humor and whatnot. So.
And sadly, we can't show you her paper dolls. These are paper dolls that are human size. Can you describe one so they can kind of get the picture of it? And maybe you can even, I'll do the
She'll make the shape.
Yeah, actually, I did a whole paper doll thing, and at first they started out about 2 or 3 feet tall. I did a grieving, crying mother, hard cardboard. It stood up on its own, and she had behind her 2 outfits that were on the wall, and she was a freestanding little paper doll in front, naked. And she's looking down at the ground as to her son's grave and crying, and I called it Crying Mother Paper Doll. And she had, at the time, that was the Middle Eastern War, so Afghan War. So I had an Afghan mom in full Habib, and then an American mom in black funereal wear. And so for me,
and you didn't have a different doll. You had different
different
clothes.
outfits for the same doll. So of course, the crying mom is going to be the same whether it's an American crying mom or a Middle Eastern crying mom, but their outfits would tell you which country they came from. I also did a paper doll. One of the first ones I did was a paper doll surrounded by all the accessories that she could wear or not, including, a high-powered businesswoman or just pro-choice T-shirts and stuff like that. And then I did a paper doll about a woman.
Immigration.
Yeah, and then there was the water carrier doll, which I
love those.
fashioned it after, I think it was Aang's water carrier doll, and she's holding a pot up here, and this water's coming through. And what I did is I had that lady standing in front, and then I had all the different outfits behind her, and the pot above them told you how many gallons, because each strip of crepe paper was 1 gallon. And so The East African doll got like 12 gallons a day, and the East Indian doll got like 25 gallons a day. The American doll got over 100 gallons a day, that kind of thing.
So content. Art is always a wonderful medium for content, for saying what we want to say, which is, of course, why so many times authoritarian governments get rid of artists. But so, and when this piece, I mean, we do have a water piece also. It's called The Long-Haired Girl, where she is the village always has to walk miles and miles to find water because the village itself has no water. It dried up. And so, again, it's a statement. She has to go in the mountain. She meets the mountain king who refuses to let them have his water. And so she has to face him and even surrender. But this little green man, which is nature, protects her and creates this cement statue that looks like her, places it under the water so that she does not have to do that, and the water is returned to the village. So again, it's there's so many ways that we can talk about the crises that are going on in our world, in our own backyard. What else? And then you did the immigration one. Of course, we have Red Altar, which is an immigrant piece about the the Chinese who came here and faced a lot of discrimination and yet still thrived and survived, having to reinvent themselves constantly after each law was passed against them. So, as you know, as storytellers, you choose your own stories also because of what you want to say. So, so I wish we didn't have a no-tech because there's so many wonderful things to see and show with Riko's work.
Yes. Comments coming in. Thank you, Fraser. A beautiful performance, Fraser writes. I love the movement, drama, visual, and vocal expressions. Thank you, each and all. I'm thoroughly enjoying this presentation and discussions. Mahalo.
Yeah, maybe we need to do it again. So this time, fix the no-tech. Because I really would love for you to see Riko's pieces. They're
You can
just
repeat.
so yummy.
Yeah. Also, thank you, Leanne. She says, yes, the dance was beautiful and exciting. Great. All
But
right.
you did see, you just put thumbs up everywhere on your chat if you saw the definitely the similarities and how we stage and how Riko creates her pieces. Yeah? Because we can't see you nodding and going,
Yeah, no
or,
thumbs on this
No, I
one.
didn't see that.
No thumbs. All right.
I'm kind of blown away by how much time and effort and preparation goes into the storytelling. That sweet little story about a monkey that was, a little too self-important. I mean, I can't tell you how beautifully it's written and how Nancy and Robert have really crystallized this darling story and kind of made it a funny little, thing. And yet it is so indicative of
What's going on?
Well, yeah, false emperor.
This kind of power. Yeah. Takes a lot of work. And especially since the pandemic, Robert and I have not been memorizing because we've been cheating online. We have a teleprompter. But there are times when that teleprompter starts going too fast and we lose what we're doing. It's really crazy. So,
Never mind the man behind the curtain.
Right. No tech.
Actually, we don't. That one's not teleprompted. But,
No.
We're working up as the pandemic is somewhat coming to a quell. Or at least we're managing that. We're doing more live shows coming up, and we need to start memorizing and getting these things off the page and back onto the stage. I know some of you out there that are presenters or performers, things are opening up. And we've gotten kind of used to this little rectangle, and maybe the opportunity is a hybrid culture where we can still do live shows and reach people across the world, and that's one of the
Advantages.
one of the gifts
Benefits.
that came along with the curse. Yeah. All right.
So, if anyone has any requests or any questions, we could end early, or we could do another story, or we could show more of Riko's paintings, or we can try and fix the Eth-No-Tec. Maybe we can send some of the photos to
Well, I think we do. What we could do is lay them down in a slideshow with a vocal track and then some live thing, and capture that as an MP4, as they call it, a video file, and put it
to
up on
attach
YouTube.
it to the YouTube recording. We can actually add what we wanted to show of Riko's pieces that we talked about. Yeah. One of the ones we didn't talk about because you can't see it, she didn't bring it, are these roads that lead to a fire, or rivers, streams that lead to something else.
Rivers, streams, trails, paths, roads, they're all a road. And of course, from your vision, they start wide and they often wind and take you to another space behind.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a wonderful visual thing to add space and a visual escape or a journey to go through and up above the piece. Sometimes I like to, at the end of the road, I like to have a sunspot. And that's whatever you wish to interpret it as, is that, you're going to something lighter and
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah, and so you don't just like stay still with looking at this, but your eyes actually wander and your soul wanders with it and goes someplace. And so at the end it's about where you want the eyes to focus as you do your work. And it's the same with us. If you notice that there were times when we had our backs to the audience because we wanted the focus on Robert, or when it was just Robert and Riko and I had my back.
It's amazing how you just turn your back and suddenly you're not there.
You can't be a strong back. You have to be a neutral back.
That's right.
Neutral back. Well, there's been a request for another story.
Okay.
And I said, let's see, let me think. Heaven and Hell, we could do that one.
Or
Let's see.
Riko's
How about cleverness and wisdom?
cleverness and wisdom, or
one.
Nuwa. The Nuwa is kind of, it's a
Content.
beautiful, but it's
Cleverness and wisdom. Let's
Okay.
do that one.
okay.
So we're going to reset the stage here
So
and
now
pull out
this
of
is
our...
cleverness and wisdom, and it's a little looser in choreography. Where there's staging, but we allow ourselves to play with the movement. So that would
Okay.
be interesting.
Uh-oh.
Now what?
Now what? More techno... I got to go to... Oh my gosh, it's just going all over. Okay, let's...
This is why we need to hire a tech person.
Yeah, I agree.
Who works for nothing or works for food and hugs.
We really need someone. This happens too much.
Okay, let me set a camera here. Let's get a better camera. Let's use the camera right there. We got it here. Okay, we're going to do a story now. Let's get the clearing space here.
Okay, we haven't done it for a while, so
Oh, don't apologize.
wish us good luck. Okay, ready? And
Tackity, tackity, ta, tackity, tackity, ta, tackity, tackity, ta. Tackity, tackity, ta, tackity, tackity, ta, tackity, tackity, ta. Tackity, tackity, ta, tackity, tackity, ta. And now a folk tale from the land of India called Cleverness or Wisdom. Once upon a time in the land of India, there were 3 magicians.
Three royal magicians to the king.
I'm Abra.
I'm Ka.
And I'm Dabra.
Abracadabra. Poof! Oh, they led the life of luxury. They had the best of everything.
Precious treasures, a castle.
And much, much more.
And yet, though they had everything, one day they got seriously bored.
Oh. Oh.
So into the jungle they went for an afternoon walk.
Tuckity, tuckity, tuck, tuckity, tuckity, tuck, tuckity, tuckity, tuck. Tuckity, tuckity, tuck, tuckity, tuckity, tuck, tuckity, tuckity, tuck.
You know, I've been thinking, which is better, cleverness or wisdom?
Was the topic of their talk.
Cleverness.
No, I say wisdom.
Cleverness.
Oh, wisdom!
Cleverness.
Wisdom! Ooh, wait, ooh, look! I found a bone.
Ooh.
Say, I've got a magic trick. Watch this. Boom, jump, and that single bone turned into dozens of bones scattered in the dirt.
Ha ha! You want to see clever? I'll show you clever. Boom, baba, zoo! And those dozens of bones clattered into a fully assembled skeleton of an animal.
A very large animal. And now for some muscle.
Hey! Neat. Say, let's
Give it a
give it a
rap.
Sha!
And now that muscular body was covered with a smooth but a hairless skin.
And now for some fur.
Wait, what color?
White is always
No,
best.
I like black.
Shiny.
No.
How about orange?
Orange would be good.
Black.
No, orange,
Orange and
black.
black.
I say
Okay,
black.
orange and black. then. Okay, orange. I say orange. Oh, wait.
Oh,
Since we cannot all agree, perhaps we better think this out more carefully.
what? Who cares? Can't you see how clever we've been so far?
Whew. Just because you're clever doesn't mean you should. You know, a clever magic trick like this could turn into something no good.
Go on.
Such a coward.
Be a bird. Go climb a tree.
And so the wise magician did climb a tree, and from his branchy loft watched where the other two clever magicians left off.
I told you white.
I know, but I like black.
Oh, that's
Because
so
black is a pure, kind of shiny.
Oh,
I don't know why you
please.
wanted orange.
Well,
orange,
but
black.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think-
orange and
yeah.
black. Orange and black. Ah.
Wait!
Ah.
Poof!
And that black, orange, and white turned into stripes.
Za, za, za.
And when that hungry tiger awoke with zeal,
Ah!
he ate some fast food, but a not so happy meal. And
When it was over, the tiger pranced away. Sha, 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 ka.
and the wise magician lived to see yet another day.
For you see, cleverness is a very short stay.
While wisdom always goes a long, long way.
Poof! All right, here we go. Careful on the way down.
Thank you.
Okay, take a seat over there. Have a seat over there.
So,
Who needs to work out?
Oh, yeah, what a workout it is.
I'm all sweaty. Hopefully it's sunny where you guys are. It's really a sunny day in San Francisco today.
Okay, let's see here. Here's here.
so again, you could see 2 to 1. sometimes different, but sometimes the same. It's all about contrast. And of course, the message is be old and wise. No, be young and wise.
It's also about thinking about the impact of your actions. So all too often we don't. We're humans just want to be at a convenience, grab a plastic bag, or go 10 miles to get a discount on gas, and all that has an impact when you multiply it times 10 million people doing the same reckless, thoughtless kind of action. So, yes, we have to be more careful, more conscious of our everything from our relationships to our family, our
ourselves, even
our planet, all of that.
Yeah. So, any questions?
Any answers? We'll take answers too. Okay, we can ask them some questions, and you can type them in. Where are y'all calling in from? Okay. Well, we see some folks we know out there.
But where are you coming from? Where are you tuned in from?
Where y'all are from out there in the great internet universe?
Mississippi? New Orleans?
Bakersfield?
Florida? Ohio?
Eva.
Eva sounds good. Yep. Okay. Well,
Is this a very quiet group of participants
here? They're typing shy. But lots of folks out there, yeah, and some folks we know from our community here. I want to give a shout out to Angela Lloyd. She's a wonderful storyteller from Victorville, California.
Robin Beatty from Brooklyn, I think.
A Brooklyn gal.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, heads up, Barbara Vanderboort, our wonderful lady who we met through the library system, but of course she's retired now and world traveling and exploring, and also she's been on our Eth-Noh-Tec board before. Thank you for your service. Okay, let's see, lots of other folks out there. Susan, artist is a way of life. That's a great last name. That's a good branding.
Susan, way of
you
life.
must be an artist, and it must be your way of life.
Art is a way of life. I think we've all chosen that.
Life is art, and art is life.
Yes.
Life is a way of art as well. Helen. Someone named Helen Niffy.
Helen, yes, my girlfriend.
Oh, there. Hi, Helen. Thanks for joining us. All right. Well, as you can see, we're trying something new.
Yes.
We may go back to the old way, but I think
I think we'll go back to Zoom because then we can see you and we can actually have you speak and go back and forth and have this wonderful conversation. This was something new we tried, and I'm glad we tried it. And now we've tried it, and now we're done with it.
We just need to improve.
Yeah, but before we sign off,
we have to thank some people.
Yeah, we want to thank, of course, Brittany and Riko and Robert and myself. And then we also want to talk about this coming month, May.
And before that, on Saturday, a big deal.
If you're around in California, Northern California, or middle, in Monterey, California, our Red Altar piece is going to be played. It's about the fishing villages in Monterey that had to face all the discrimination, and the villages got burned down and all that stuff, and it's being shown, and we'll be there to answer questions. And then the next day is the Walk of Remembrance that was organized by my cousin Jerry, and it's when people will walk along the coastal area where all our two of our villages used to be before they were burned down and so on. So it's a way of remembering that we were there. We were the first, one of the first. I mean, the native peoples, of course, the Eswan and the Rumsen were there, and then the Mexicans were there, and the Spanish. But we also were there before Europeans, and so. But there's no sign of that. You never see it when you walk into Monterey. So this is what this whole thing is about: is to try and get our presence recognized and acknowledged.
Another way you can get our presence recognized through Asian American stories and Asian American storytellers is that Eth-Noh-Tec, and Riko as well, and half a dozen other Asian American storytellers will be presenting a showcase at the Bay Area Storytelling Festival.
It is also online, if you can look it up, Bay Area Storytelling Festival.
Saturday,
this
April
Saturday,
29th.
starting at 9, and I think it ends at 5.
If those of you are radio savvy about KPFA radio, there's going to be APEX, which is an Asian American programming, next Friday at 7 o'clock. Just look up APEX, APEX. We're going to be talking about our work in the community with storytelling.
But next, every month on the last Thursday of the month, we have this show, Storytelling with Eth-Noh-Tec. Next month, on that last Thursday, we are going to shift it over to Sunday, May 28th. And we're going to do this event that's called
Strong Like Bamboo.
Stories of Resilience and Healing in the Era of Anti-Asian AAPI Violence. And 6 Asian American storytellers will tell their stories of their discrimination experiences and what they did with it, how they came through it. We'll have a panel, then we'll have breakout rooms, so we're going to be on Zoom, where people can also share their stories with compassionate listening, or, talk about your experience being a witness, and then we'll come back again together. We'll watch 2 wonderful short films on Japanese Buddhists when their temple got broken into, and then the Chinese minister who's also the church got vandalized, and how they feel that we need to respond to this kind of violence. And then, which is really exciting, Robert has a song, because he was a musician first.
It's a song written by Chris Ijima of the Kristen Geo phenomenon way back in the day, but very pertinent to this day. And on this issue of immigration and the violence against Asians, because people don't see us as Americans, the song is called We're Still Here. And that's one song. Another song I'll be doing on the theme of bamboo, because bamboo is strong when the many parts of bamboo come together.
And also bamboo is flexible, and that is definitely a strength as well.
But it snaps back when needed.
Yes, so it's not like an oak tree, which is just really solid and it would crack. But so that's the whole idea of bamboo. But the pièce de la resistance is that at the very end there are these senior women who do rap.
What are they called?
They're called the Follies. And so with their dust mops and their, they do this rap. And the one they're going to do is the one they created and wrote and chant and rap on anti-Asian hate.
So if you've never seen Asian American senior citizens do rap, well, that could be a historic first. And you could have witnessed that. You will witness that.
Yeah. It's going to be meaningful and as well as fun. So.
Let me think anything else with there.
We will be sending out.
We're not finished yet.
Donations.
Not even that. We'll get to that. But, over the pandemic era when everything was shut down, we reached out to many of our colleagues in this Asian storytelling universe out there. There's a handful, a couple dozen. But we formed a group called AASIA, Asian American Storytellers in Action. And some of the action we've done was we've been on other programs that talk about the Asian American voice, again, in the setting of the rise in hate crimes against our people. But also we thought, well, how can we raise an awareness? And,
and how can we prevent prejudice?
Racism, bigotry starts at an early age. So why not address the issue with kids in a fun and entertaining way to show that this is what Americans look like with our culture, our folktales,
and activities.
And so check out the YouTube channel called Asian American Storytopia.
It's free. It's aimed at K-5, but I think even adults will enjoy it. Yeah. So thank you so much.
And donate.
To www.ethnohtec.org. There'll be a PayPal button.
And our nonprofit, with that support, it helps us reach out to schools and community centers all across the country.
And you can deduct it. So I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank Brittany for being there for us. I want to thank Robert for the Eth-Noh-Tec.
I did a good job of that.
And I want to thank Riko for all her talent and her generosity.
And thank you, Nancy. The
We're such-
brains. I mean, sorry. Okay, never mind.
We're
We're
such nice
all equal.
We are grateful.
We have
to
our
you.
strengths and our weaknesses. I can't do anything with tech. So,
Okay.
all right.
Thank you for
Thank
coming,
you.
everyone.
We'll figure out a way so you can see her paintings.
All right.
Her pastels.
Thanks everyone for logging on. All
Thank
right.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Finish. Right.
So we're
Yeah.
recording.